Raines did a second one. Did he do
The
a second
Invisible Man
one?
Returns, yeah.
Invisible Man Returns, somewhat a little bit later on
Yeah.
in the 30s. And then, of course, Vincent Price took over the role
Right.
at some point during the 40s.
Right, and then it's his voice that you hear at the end of Abbott and Costello. I know we're going to get to that, but that's him at the end too. And Vincent Price did a fantastic and a sly, witty sting to his dialogue. I think they both did a great job.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about Abbott and Costello, and they were meeting everybody.
They met everyone.
So go ahead, we'll just talk about, again, Universal. They were successful for Universal, so okay, well, we'll have them meet all these different monsters.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that I had not seen the Abbott and Costello movies till after seeing all of the Universal favorites. So they terrified me, and then seeing them play it straight with Abbott and Costello, it was the first time I could laugh at that. And there's my favorite psych gag of all time is in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, where they're trying to prevent the Wolfman from coming through the door, and they push a bed and they pull all this stuff, and they didn't realize the door opens the other way.
Oh, yes.
And the Wolfman jumps through, and that just made that. I still today laugh harder at that. And so that saved Bela Lugosi's career. He was pretty much washed up and over, and that brought him back, and he's actually quite funny in that by playing it straight, and all of them taking it seriously and making the laughs even funnier. Like they're not in on the joke. They're just playing their monsters. And gosh, the Jekyll and Hyde one is hilarious.
Yeah, the Mummy, and then they met the Invisible Man, too.
The Invisible Man, and all of these great Universal stock actors.
Dwight Frye, Lionel Atwill,
Great.
George Zucco, and you had some of the women like Evelyn Ankers.
Yes.
And Elena Verdugo, I know. But we are going to jump ahead now a little bit to Creature from the Black Lagoon. I know we've jumped to the 50s.
That's okay.
But another highlight that was really successful.
And to me, a nicer kind of fright. And I think that Anaconda was sort of paying tribute to that. You've got kind of like a nice...
Journey down the river.
Journey down the river, and you've got beautiful women in bathing suits, and something lurking in the waters, and it was a little scary, but not enough to give you nightmares. And of course, trying to pull that off in 3D during the height of the 3D craze, I would have loved to have known did that work. I mean, what kind of effect did you have? I mean, what's your thoughts on Creature?
Well, I think that it's almost like a Beauty and the Beast to that, because he's infatuated with the beautiful Julia Adams, and who later went by Julie Adams. And I think that it's just how he is able to come up from the ship from behind, and it's like the cat and mouse game. So it was another entertaining film, and yes, it was quite successful. Then they had Revenge of the Creature, Creature Walks Among Us. So again, some more spawning of the film. So. Yeah, so Universal did quite a job. I know we can't cover a lot of the other films and sequels, but some really entertaining. Do you have like 2 or 3 films that stand out again the most, though, with Universal?
I think the original Dracula. I think because of the fact that it didn't romanticize him. He was a monster. Yeah. An elegant monster.
Yep.
But a monster. And I think The Wolfman, I don't think any werewolf film since then has come close.
Sure.
And I think that those are my 2. And Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. It had all of them in there. It is still
Jack Pierce, a great makeup
Pierce,
man.
and the makeup on that, I think that Rick Baker looked up to Jack Pierce, and Rick Baker won the very first Oscar for makeup for American Werewolf in London. And I think that he's come close. But then again, in the Wolfman remake, they left a lot of it to CGI. And so when they're transforming it just looks so shiny.
There you go.
It just doesn't come close.
Well, Drew Tallerson, thanks for visiting with me, kicking off our 2014 Halloween show on some of these great Universal monsters. And stay tuned. We're going to have a look at some of the silent horror films coming up next. Okay. Well, Bill Landing, alias the Joker right now, and the gruesome witch to my left is Cyndi Taylor, and we're going to continue on with the 2014 Halloween show. We're going to talk a little bit about silent horror films. There have been many of them made in the silent film era. The first ever horror film made in the silent era was in 1896, The Haunted Castle. It was a horror film made in France. For many decades, this was a lost film until somebody found it in a New Zealand film archive in 1988. Some other classic ones in the silent era: Nosferatu, London After Midnight, Waxworks, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, The Phantom Carriage, The Cat and the Canary, The Bat, Frankenstein, a 1910 version, The Haunted House, The Man Who Laughs, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, The Hands of Orlok, and The Lodger, a story of the London fog. Cyndi.
Okay, there have been some successful B horror movies. Here are some that sometimes are forgotten: The Killer Shrews, The Alligator People, Attack of the Giant Leeches, The Giant Gila Monster, The She Creature, It Conquered the World, Invasion of the Saucermen, The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, The Beast with a Million Eyes, and Bucket of Blood. Bill?
The old RK movie studios produced some classic horror melodramas in the 30s and the 40s. Among them, the original King Kong, Cat People, Curse of the Cat People, The Isle of the Dead, I Walked with a Zombie, Bedlam, and The Body Snatcher.
Terror, thriller, and monster films nearly always had a damsel in distress, women caught up in some trouble or another. Here are some actresses who were just that way: Fay Wray, Jamie Lee Curtis, Sigourney Weaver, Janet Leigh, Carrie Fisher, Julia Adams, Tippi Hedren, Barbara Shelley, Yvette Mimieux, Adrienne Barbeau, and Evelyn Ankers.
There have been quite a few successful horror, fantasy, sci-fi movie directors over the years. Let's take a look at some of the popular ones. Todd Browning, John Carpenter, William Castle, Roger Corman, Wes Craven, David Cronenberg, Brian De Palma, Terrence Fisher, Alfred Hitchcock, Tobe Hooper, Steven Spielberg, and James Whale. Stay tuned. Pardon me. It's an old comment, but I'm lost.
I can see that. You are an explorer. A seeker, are you not?
Sort of. I'm Bill Landing. I'm from Michigan City. It's about 20 miles east of here. TV crew, we just videotaped a Halloween program, and I heard that there was a band of gypsies here.
I'm Zaira, and I am a gypsy.
You're alone?
No, 3 of my family members are fishing over at the pond. Tonight, we celebrate our autumn festival.
Violin music, dancing, tambourines.
Oh, Bill. Your information is outdated.
All right. Well, do you and your family sell baubles and give crystal ball readings?
Bill, we seek economic gain, but not in that manner.
Okay. Well, anyway,
Take that path. I will grant you safe passage. But my family is not as cordial as I.
Well, thank you, Zara. Sorry to have intruded.
It's all right. But I predict we will meet again.
As we're wrapping up our 2014 Interesting Individuals Halloween show, there were some last-second guests who just wanted to come on and be seen, which is what they are doing. Thank yous, as always, to pass along for this year's program: Sue Copeland, the owner of Costume World in Michigan City; Cyndi Taylor, Drew Talixon, Christine Perry, and Andy Steele. Once again, you can see past Interesting Individuals programs and current ones on our YouTube site. Just go to Interesting Individuals, and we have some past Halloween programs on that I think you might enjoy, so please check those out. So everyone, have a great, safe, and happy Halloween.